Hello friends, welcome again. Today we'll be solving a problem related to control system, and the problem is GSHS is given and we have to see which of the following is the polar plot for this system. Okay, so polar plot is plotted for j omega, this is the red part which is from j0 to j infinity. Okay, so first of all let us assume that GSHS which is given is equal to L of S. Then L of j omega is, we have substituted s with j omega, so we'll get 1 plus j zero point 0.4 omega into j omega plus 1 over 1 plus j8 omega into j omega minus 1. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll first try to find out the angle. Okay, so angle uh, L of j omega will be given as, for the first one it is tan inverse 0.4 of omega, for the second one it is plus tan inverse of omega. Okay, so these are the numerator part, and the denominator will contribute to tan inverse 8 of omega 8 omega, and this will be in minus. Okay, and the last one will contribute as 180 minus tan inverse omega, and this will be again negative of that. Okay, so now first what we'll do is we will see from which quadrant to which quadrant the polar plot is starting and ending. Okay, so starting frequency is omega equal to 0, so we put that in this equation, and you can see that tan inverse 0 is 0, so this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, and this is 0, so we are left only with minus 180 degrees. So the polar plot was start with minus 180 degrees. You can see all the four in the all four figures, it is starting with minus 180 degrees. Okay, so this is the first thing we have to check. Now at omega equals to infinity, we are again finding the angle. Okay, so tan inverse of infinity is 90 degrees. Okay, so these two will contribute 90 degrees each, and this will contribute minus 90 degrees, and the last one again will contribute minus 90 degrees, so it should end at 0 degrees. Okay, so the end should be with 0 degrees. Now you can see here that the first plot, it's starting with minus 180 degrees, but you can see here it is going to 90 degrees. Okay, or minus 270 degrees, so the ending point is minus 270 degrees, so we can discard the option A directly. Okay, now what we are doing is we are randomly finding the angle at some frequency. Okay, so this can be any random process of finding. You can put any random value, and what you can see is at omega equal to 5 radians per second, we are getting the angle as minus 47.75 degrees. Now you can see here that uh, B and C, you are getting in B and C, option B and C, you are getting the option, you are getting minus 47 degrees because it's lying in the fourth quadrant. Okay, but you can see that curve D is not lying in the fourth quadrant, so curve D can be discarded. Okay, now we are left only with option B and option C. Okay, now we'll proceed and see how to construct the polar plot. Okay, so let's start. So what we will do is now we will find the modulus, or the mod of this GSHS. Okay, so which is L of S. Now what we do, first we write L of j omega, which is given by 1 plus j zero point 0.4 omega into j omega plus 1 over 1 plus j8 omega over j omega minus 1. Okay, so when you write the modulus of this, you get mod of j omega is equal to under root 1 plus 0.16 omega square over 1 plus 64 omega square. Okay, so now this is our mod of L of j omega. Okay, now as we know that we are left with only B and C, so let us calculate the modulus at omega equal to 0. So when you put omega equal to 0 in this equation, we are left only with 1, so this is for both the options have 1 in them. So okay, and minus 1 because it is at minus 180 degrees, so it is minus 1. Okay, now you can say, yeah, you can also find at omega equals to infinity. So what you get here, mod of L of j omega is equal to, you just in this equation you just divide by, you can take the omega square outside. Okay, which will come out to be omega, and this is what you get, and you get it as 0.05. Okay, so you get 0.05 at omega equal to infinity, and that is 0.05 angle 0 degrees, because it was ending at 0 degrees. So you can see that only option B has that thing. Okay, you can see here this is going to 0 at omega equals to infinity, but you can see here that it is at 0.05. So B is a correct answer that we have got already. But let us proceed and draw the polar plot ourselves and see whether B is actually the answer or not. Okay, so let us proceed. So what we do is we already have done at omega equal to 0 degrees, okay, and omega equal to infinity. So what we do is we try to find at some critical points again. So what you can do is you can find angle L of j omega is 180 or not. So what you can do is, whatever is your equation for L of j omega, you can equate it to 180 degrees, or sorry, rather minus 180 degrees, and you can find whether that is happening or not. Okay, that is one thing. Now let us say at omega equals to 0.1. okay, so what you are getting at 0.1, you get a magnitude of 0.781, okay, using the equations, and angle of 204.984. okay, so this is in minus. Okay, this is minus 204 of 94, so 0.94. so what you get here is, this is minus 180 degree, and again you are getting minus 204, means you are going in the clockwise direction. So that point may be somewhere here with a magnitude of 0.781. okay, so if I plot this in my polar plot, so it is a point. Okay, 0.71 is a point here, somewhere here. Okay, so this is my first point. So this is my first point, which is at -1. Now this is at some point which is at which has a magnitude. This magnitude is 0.781. okay, and this angle, okay, this is that sorry, this is that angle. Yes, this is that angle. This is minus 204. okay, minus 204 degrees. So I am getting a curve like this. Okay, yeah. Okay, now he's saying that at omega equals to 1, this angle becomes minus 151 degrees. So minus 151 degrees will be somewhere in the third quadrant again. Okay, it will be somewhere here. So it cuts through and it goes like this, and finally it reaches to this point. Okay, so this is what you get. Okay, if I draw it neatly again, so what we get is this is our graph, and this is the point at omega equals to 0 degrees. Okay, and this is the point at omega equals to uh, 0.1. okay, and after that at omega equals to 1, this goes to some point here. Okay, and we already know that at omega equals to infinity, this is again going to this 0 degrees, and the magnitude is 0.05. okay, so this is how we have to proceed. The option B already is the correct option. Okay, so thanks for watching.